let's talk about my first love. I was head over heels for him. I was 19, he was 24. So, 12 months in, and he went away with his touring band. Shit band, really. So he left, and I trusted him, 100%, because he told me to trust him. And then one night, he rings me up, and he's hysterical, crying on the phone. He'd been fighting with another band member that had a massive fallout, a huge row, everyone had got involved. He wanted to come home, but he didn't. So 1 month later, he arrived back. And that's when things got really weird. He'd literally cry at the smallest things. Weird as fuck. Couldn't figure out what was up with him. He wasn't working. I was working. And he was using my car through the day. So he'd drop me off at work and pick me up. He'd be using all my petrol. And then a month later, he rings me out of the blue one day. Tells me he's packing his stuff and moving out. I was like, what the fuck? It was so out of the blue. I didn't have a clue what was going on. When I think back now, there were signs everywhere. But at the time, I didn't know. He tells me that he still loves me and he still wants to be with me, but he just needs space. So obviously I was devastated, but I thought, right, fair enough if this is how it's going to work. And we were seeing each other regular. Then one day, a few weeks later, I get a message off a mutual friend of ours. And he's like, I'm so sorry about what's happened. And, if you need someone to talk to, I'm here. And I knew then something was up. So I'm like, you need to tell me what's going on, because I have no idea. And he wouldn't budge. He says I had to meet him in person. My boyfriend asks me to borrow him £1,000 because he needs to pay off some debts. And I agree. And we're actually sat there in the restaurant eating something. This is just before I'm going meeting our mutual friend who I'm messaging. Go to part 2. Part 2. So I'm sat there and I'm messaging our mutual friend and tells him what he's asked me, and he's like, don't give him a fucking penny. I need to see you ASAP. I was like, Jesus, right, okay. So I goes and meets him, goes to his house. And then he tells me that my fella cheated on me that night it kicked off with his now ex-girlfriend. That's why they had a fight. She's now pregnant. And the weekend that he needed space, they went and got married. Obviously, he's now my ex.